You're watching Retirement Talk with Eric Kearny, Southwest Florida's retirement television. He's an author, a radio host, a fiduciary, and Southwest Florida's premier investment advisor. Here is Senior Investment Advisor Eric Kearny.
Hello and welcome to Retirement Talk with Eric Kearny. I'm Wendy Falk, and today I'm here with Eric Kearny, President and CEO of Retirement Wealth Advisors. Hi Eric, how are you?
I'm great, Wendy. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Good.
Today we are going to talk about how to build a better portfolio. You know, with all the recent market fluctuations, a strong portfolio is necessary to withstand all the violent winds on Wall Street. So on today's show, let's discuss a number of ways to help people build a better portfolio.
Great idea.
First on the list is creating long-term stability. How do you help your clients create long-term stability, Eric?
You know, Wendy, in this type of year, we've been telling people, look, this bull market run is going to be over someday. And we haven't wasted any time with, even in an upcoming market, we still have to be prudent with our investors, and we still realize that they still have to be protected in case of a downturn. So we're on that wall every single day waiting for that downturn, and then all of a sudden you get walloped with last December of 2018, and now all of a sudden you have this year where you've got corrections, recessions, elections, you've got a lot of different things going on. So now all of a sudden people are realizing, holy cow, I want stability. We live in Southwest Florida, and it is beautiful down here. So we've become accustomed to a certain lifestyle, and when we really discuss that, people don't want to lose that standard of living. And so now they're coming into us and they're like, Eric, we need to create stability. We're kind of getting tired of the stock market volatility. We need something stable. And they're coming to us from other advisors, and they feel like our advisor is not servicing us. They're not calling us. When the markets fall apart, they're not allowed to come into the office. We haven't missed one day since this whole thing started. And it's not that we're being reckless, but we have a fiduciary responsibility to serve our clients through thick and thin. So we've got to be careful, but we're servicing our clients and we're providing that stability to our clients. So this is what people are craving for this year, and this is why we've been busier than ever, because people feel that they're being underserviced. They're not being heard. They don't have a strategy in place. And with all the volatility going on in the markets, they're done with that. So they're saying to us, Eric, we want a solution, and that's really what we're trying to give them, that stability that's going to come with the market. They're tired of the stock market plunges. They don't want to see that. Oddly enough, I had a client call me about a week ago, and the market had plunged that day. Horrible day on the market. And so I picked up the phone. I'm like, hey, how are you? He's like, hey, Eric, bad day on the market, huh? I said, yeah. He goes, that's okay. We'll be just fine. And I learned a lot from that phone call because I realized through the planning process that we've provided him, he's not worried about the stock market plunges. We've given him sustainable options to fall back on. And so that was kind of like a good feeling for me, because we don't get angry calls when the stock market plunges. We don't have people worried about their future because we're putting them through that process, and that's what people are now craving.
At Retirement Wealth Advisors, you all are proactive and you provide a service, and you're accountable for how you service your clients. Mm-hmm.
And I like that accountability. And I tell everyone, look, I have a great staff. I have a huge back office. I have another back office that does a lot of research for us. I'm surrounded by great people. But my clients' success of their retirement falls on my shoulders. It's not anyone else's fault but mine. So I hyper focus on making sure that we have a sustainable strategy in place, that we're taking a look at everything, we're forecasting, we're making sure that we're identifying a lot of hurdles, and we're making sure that we're going to be okay. There's always going to be what ifs in retirement, and who would have known that a worldwide virus would come through in an election year? This has been unbelievable, and it's affected pretty much every single soul on this earth. And so, again, we've got to take a look at the global economy, the domestic economy, but what it really funnels down to, we're taking care of our clients' economy, their own personal economy, and saying, look, I don't want your economy to be affected by this. And so we've got to implement everything that we have in order to make that client make it through retirement no matter what happens.
Well, Eric, this year has been, as you've said, it's been difficult, and there have been a lot of changes, and there's been a lot of volatility on the stock market. So the next thing we want to talk about in building a better portfolio is reducing your stock market exposure. At Retirement Wealth, in what ways and how do you plan for that for your clients?
So this is a process, and this has been the frustrating part about this industry. For people that have listened to my radio show for years or have come to my classes, there's a lot of disturbing parts of this industry because there's a lot of licensed salespeople out there. And I always say, were you sold a product or were you provided with a solution? And there's a lot of people now that go into an advisor and saying, I want to reduce all my stock market exposure. Okay, great. They take the entire portfolio and they put it into a product and they say, oh, all done. You've just reduced your stock market exposure. Well, all of a sudden, they're not taking into account inflation, interest rates, a bad year in the market. What about long-term care issues? There's so many different things that they're not factoring in. So a lot of people are coming into me and they're realizing, Eric, I was just sold a product. I thought I was doing the right thing. Clients want to be proactive, but they also want things kind of taken care of very quickly. Going through a financial planning process, there's nothing quick about it. Imagine if you're going to restore an old 1940s home. You realize that you're not going to go in there, put down new carpet, and that place is remodeled. You know that it's going to be a project. So when somebody comes in with a very large portfolio, we're managing their life savings. It's going to be a process that we're putting them through, and they appreciate that, Wendy. They realize that we're taking in every account. For every action, there's a reaction. We have to know that you're going to be in good shape now. We have to know that those decisions that we're making today are good in 3 years, 5 years, and 10 years. And so we're putting that through a plan. That's why people are coming to us. That's why we're so busy. So we're putting them through a requirements of a strategy and helping them understand we just cannot reduce your exposure this year. It's got to be over time because we also have to outpace inflation and also account for taxes.
Well, Eric, what you brought up just a bit ago and all of those things that you talk about, there are so many pieces to a puzzle for building a better portfolio and having a proper plan.
Right.
That's why they need a professional like you to help them along the way. So I would like to take this time to direct the viewers to Eric's website. It's erickearneyadvisor.com. You can get on the website. You can download a complimentary copy of Eric's Portfolio Recovery Strategy. It's beautifully done. Eric wrote this himself, and as I said, it's completely complimentary. And you please just download a copy for yourself. You'll be very happy that you did. Eric, the next thing on our list is how to improve asset allocation. And that's something that needs a little explaining. So can you please explain that to our viewers as you explained to me before the show?
Well, I mean, we like to use a prop here. So I bring this out to a lot of my clients. And you know, the thing is that this is an old bag phone, right around maybe 1995, 1994. And a lot of us had these. The thing about this is that back in time, this was an amazing piece of technology, right? But now you look at it, and the only thing that you could really do at $1 a minute was make a phone call. So as amazing of technology as this was at one point, now it's very irrelevant. So now all of a sudden, we take a look at the new cell phone, and there's really not much that you can't do without this, right? I can buy tickets to China. I can buy anything that I want pretty much on here. I can search the internet. I can look up stocks. I can turn up or down the AC from my phone. I can watch my dog chewing up my couch if I want, right? So the bottom line is that the technology here is very relevant. We're seeing where people are coming in with portfolios that are very dated, very irrelevant, and they're not up to a sound asset allocation. So we're going through that portfolio and identifying the strengths and the weaknesses of that portfolio and saying, look, we can make significant changes for you, but you have to make these as the economy changes, as interest rates change, as your income needs change, as your risk tolerance changes. So when people have had the same portfolio for 5, 10, and even 15 and 20 years, that portfolio, I can almost guarantee, is not working for you today. And we see it all the time, and that's one of the first things that I point out. So we're importing all this into software for people and identifying those. And again, putting these people through a process, and they realize, holy cow, Eric, I need a total revamp of my entire financial situation.
Eric, this will be a great time to take a break. We're going to open up the phone lines. The number is 1-800-779-1942. Eric, we'd like to take the first 10 callers who are really serious about their retirement. Eric has a great offer for them. Can you tell them what that is, please?
Sure. If you've never had a second opinion, you're looking for a portfolio recovery strategy, or you're looking for an income plan, give us a call today. If you've saved at least $500,000 for retirement, we're going to take the next 10 callers and we're going to complete that financial plan. What this consists of is running all the reports, the fee reports, the Morningstar reports, a tax analysis, maybe even a volatility analysis. Let's see where that plan takes you. Let's see where that plan leads you. Let's get you reacquainted with your portfolio, and again, without any obligation. If you're interested in your very own income plan, we'll show you proven strategies and techniques to turbocharge your retirement income. In short, we're going to take all the guesswork out of financial planning, so give us a call at 1-800-779-1942.
Phones are ringing, but be patient. You will get through. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Retirement Talk with Eric Kearny.
What does your retirement look like? Is it filled with travel, spending time with family, uninterrupted rounds at the golf course? Or are you too worried to even think about your hopes and dreams?
Questions about your retirement are normal. So come into our office, sit down with us, and let us help you find those answers.
Eric and his team can answer your questions with a complimentary review of your retirement and income plan, and it all starts with getting to know you.
We specialize in helping people just like you prepare for the retirement that they've always dreamed of.
They'll do exactly that by going over your current strategy to expose the weaknesses that may exist in your retirement portfolio. Plus, they'll explain potential risks and possible strategies to you in easy-to-understand terms and help get you reacquainted with your portfolio and income strategy.
What I enjoy most about retirement planning is sitting down with you and having real conversations about your retirement dreams and goals.
Once they understand your retirement goals, objectives, and dreams, they'll work to custom build a retirement plan to help ensure that you cannot outlive your income in retirement.
Retirement doesn't have to be scary. Let us help you retire confidently.
Because every dream needs a plan. Call Eric today and schedule your visit. You only retire once, so let's get it right the first time.
Welcome back to Retirement Talk with Eric Kearny. Eric, before the break, we were talking about building a better portfolio. How about we just move on down the list?
Sounds good, Wendy.
The next one we want to talk about is lowering your standard deviation. You know, I hear investors talk about that frequently. What's standard deviation and how exactly do you lower it?
So this is a really critical tool that we teach every single new client that comes in. Our clients understand standard deviation, and it sounds overwhelming to a lot of people. It's just a statistical measure that's tied to an annual rate of return, and it sheds light on historical volatility. So when we show them that, we're showing them how much volatility do you have in your portfolio, because we're showing them over a 1, 3, and 5-year period how much volatility is in your portfolio compared to the actual indexes. And everybody cares about the end result, the rate of return, right? If I open up my statement in January, did I make more money or lose money, right? But there's a lot of ingredients that go into getting that end result. And so people now, they're starting to figure out, okay, Eric, I moved down to Florida, I bought a beautiful home, I went to the beach, I went golfing. Now I really realize I am in retirement. So they're coming to us because now they're taking their retirement super seriously and they really want to get into it. So standard deviation, we're trying to manage that portfolio. So what we're doing as money managers is we're trying to lower the risk, lower the volatility, and actually smooth out that rate of return. So now everyone's paying attention, okay, how much volatility did I have in my old portfolio, and what are you going to be giving me? Because what people are really looking for is, okay, I'm going to be paying a fee, what value am I getting for that? And so again, we're running them through and really breaking down the portfolio and explaining it to them in very easy to understand terms.
That's a great point that you brought up, value. We've talked about that so many times. People, they want value when they come to you. They're going to pay you a fee. You're managing their account, and that's what they want. And they get value when they come to Retirement Wealth Advisors.
Thank you.
Eric, the next one I'd like to talk about is Sharpe ratio. You know, we all know a higher rate of return is better, but most people don't want to, have that risk involved. How do you get the best of both worlds?
So this is basically Sharpe ratio is your risk-adjusted return. What is your annual rate of return, but what risk are you willing to take to get that rate of return? So the overall objective of any portfolio is to lower your standard deviation or lower your volatility index and actually raise your Sharpe ratio, which gives you a smoother, hopefully a smoother rate of return over time. So again, we've got to start to manage other parameters in the portfolio that people haven't even considered. And so when people come in and they push their investments in front of me, I'm like, that's fine. After doing this for almost 20 years, I know pretty much every mutual fund. I know what the standard deviation is going to come out once we do that report. I know that there's a lot of people with very high risk. And once we point that out to them, they're like, I had no idea. The problem is that there's a lot of advisors out there who don't understand standard deviation, who truly don't understand how to explain alpha and beta and Sharpe ratio to their clients. So these clients are left out in the dark. Let me just say one thing about this year. I've said before that 2008 did a lot of investors big favors because it wiped out a lot of people in this industry that should have never been in it. I think the same thing's going to happen in 2020. I think that there's a lot of people who should not be in this business, who are licensed salespeople, that might get wiped out. You want someone who's giving you all the value that you need. You want someone to put you through a process. You want someone to know, I can get you through a hurdle here, right? You want someone who's going to forecast what you have. This is what we're doing. We have to wear so many different hats and be very capable at wearing all of those hats. The one thing I'll tell you is my father ran a print shop for over 35 years. And one of my greatest personal belongings is the old sign that he had in his window. And my father told me one time, I know how to run every single machine in this place, because if someone doesn't show up to work, nothing stops. I feel the same way in my firm. I have some great people working underneath me, but if all of a sudden something happens, I can go over to that department and I can run it myself. Because no matter what happens, our clients' lives have to come first. We are managing their whole portfolio. We are managing their lifestyle. We are managing the ability to be able to pay their bills. And so we have to put them through this process, and building a better portfolio has so many ingredients, and you've got to pick the right ingredients to get that end result, that rate of return.
Well, Eric, with all that you're talking about with your clients, I've seen that in the office. People come in and they may be a little frightened or scared when they come in, because they are going to, they're show you their statements. But you sit back and you're like, we need to look at those, but we need to look at your lifestyle. We need to know how you want to live, what you want your retirement to look like, and that's what makes you so successful. Is that you look at those things and you help them plan accordingly.
I think that there's a lot of people that just want to come in and say, here, fix this. There's no just fixing it, right? And the thing is that we sit down and again, a lot of people say, here's how much money I have. That's the last thing that I want to take a look at. We put people through a series of questions. We're going through the financial plan. I'm digging down. How do you feel about money? What do you want to improve? What are you intimidated by? And a lot of people are just intimidated by walking through the front door, and we get that. And so the thing is that we want to be very sensitive to their needs, and one lady told me, Eric, I didn't have very much money growing up, and I really started saving at 50 years old, and she has done a phenomenal job with that. So we have to respect how she feels about money, how she socked away money starting in her 50s, and making sure that she has that for life. And so there's a lot of people that come in, and I'll tell you, it's like the weight of the world is off their shoulders when they leave, because they already feel like before we did anything, they're in a better position. But they finally are telling me, Eric, somebody's finally listening to me. They're finally helping me. I'm not just signing paperwork and say, you'll be in good shape. We want them to have accountability to us. I want to be held responsible for their retirement. And I think that that's where a lot of advisors, they're hiding underneath their desks right now because they don't really know what to do. And so we're trying to really prove to people you're going to be okay, but you've got to go through this process of financial planning.
And that's why people come to you at Retirement Wealth Advisors. Eric, I think this will be a good time to go to a break, but before that, we're going to open up the phone lines, and the number is 1-800-779-1942. Eric, you have a great offer for our viewers. If they're one of the first 10 callers who are really serious about their retirement, tell them what that is, please.
We do. This is a great offer. So we're going to do a full-blown comprehensive financial plan, no obligation. If you've saved at least $500,000 for retirement and you're one of the next 10 callers, we're going to run all the reports for you. The fee reports, the Morningstar reports, a tax analysis, maybe even a volatility analysis. Let's see where that plan leads you. Let's see where that plan takes you. Let's get you reacquainted with your portfolio, and again, without any obligation. If you're interested in your very own income plan, we'll show you proven strategies and techniques to turbocharge your retirement income. In short, we're going to take all the guesswork out of financial planning, so give us a call today, 1-800-779-1942.
Please stay with us. When we come back, we'll have more on building a better portfolio with Eric Kearny.
What does your retirement look like? Is it filled with travel, spending time with family, uninterrupted rounds at the golf course? Or are you too worried to even think about your hopes and dreams?
Questions about your retirement are normal. So come into our office, sit down with us, and let us help you find those answers.
Eric and his team can answer your questions with a complimentary review of your retirement and income plan, and it all starts with getting to know you.
We specialize in helping people just like you prepare for the retirement that they've always dreamed of.
They'll do exactly that by going over your current strategy to expose the weaknesses that may exist in your retirement portfolio. Plus, they'll explain potential risks and possible strategies to you in easy-to-understand terms and help get you reacquainted with your portfolio and income strategy.
What I enjoy most about retirement planning is sitting down with you and having real conversations about your retirement dreams and goals.
Once they understand your retirement goals, objectives, and dreams, they'll work to custom build a retirement plan to help ensure that you cannot outlive your income in retirement.
Retirement doesn't have to be scary. Let us help you retire confidently.
Because every dream needs a plan. Call Eric today and schedule your visit. You only retire once, so let's get it right the first time.
Thanks for joining us again on Retirement Talk with Eric Kearny. Eric, we were talking about building a better portfolio before we went to break.
Mm-hmm.
The next one on the list in building a better portfolio is reducing fees. You know, you've talked about, and we've talked about, people are getting charged fees on top of their advisor fee.
Right.
Can you elaborate on that?
So this year, more than ever, we're seeing a lot of people come in with the craziest holdings, with the craziest products, and everything from a variable annuity all the way up to a hedge fund, and everything in between with retail funds, A shares, B shares, even C shares, which is one of the most expensive mutual funds that you can hold. People are blown away, Wendy, when they see their actual fees in these. And we're fixing a lot of these variable annuities. I've never sold a variable annuity, and I won't, because it's a very expensive tool. A lot of times you have 100% market exposure. They're typically not managed ever. You know how many people said, after I was sold this, I never saw that salesperson again? That's typical. Anything that is of monetary value has to be managed on a regular basis. And so these people have these very expensive variable annuities, and we're getting people out of these left and right. I give kudos to a couple that came into me about a month ago, and they said, Eric, we took one of your classes and you told us how bad variable annuities were. They actually went back to their advisor, and their advisor started pitching them a variable annuity. They said, absolutely not. That's when they moved all their assets over to me. Let me tell you this, if they did go into that variable annuity, their situation would have been dire down the road. So they're young enough now where they can make some changes to their portfolio, and more than likely they're going to be in a great spot, but they could not get over the fees in that variable annuities. Also, in a lot of loaded mutual funds, you've got to take a look at the internal expense ratios, and this is what we're doing. We're showing the strengths and the weaknesses of every portfolio and exposing all these fees. These are fees that people do not want to be paying.
Eric, I think this would be a good time to direct our viewers to your website. It's erickearnyadvisor.com. You can get on Eric's website and you can download a copy of the Portfolio Recovery Strategy. It's very informative. Eric wrote this himself, lots of great information. It is complimentary as well, and you can also download your complete guide to retirement income. This is extremely informative as well, and there's actually kind of a little workbook section in here that you can put in your goals, your personal goals, your investment goals, and I would imagine this would be a great tool for your new clients to bring to their first appointment with you.
There's a lot of people that actually download that, fill it out, and then bring it into the first meeting, and that's very helpful because, I mean, it really does save a lot of time, and we actually end up putting that client in a better position very quickly.
That's great, Eric. Complimentary. So get on there and get that downloaded. The next thing we're going to talk about is, and this is really important, we've talked about this a lot, is do you have a financial relationship with your advisor so that you can hold them accountable and they know about your lifestyle? Tell me about that, Eric.
There's just a lot of people that don't have that, and actually that's the reason that they're giving us a call. So if you don't have a relationship with your advisor, give us a call today. Let's get that written financial plan done for you. We'll create an income portfolio with proven strategies and techniques to turbocharge your retirement income. Give us a call, 1-800-779-1942.
And I think this would be a great time to open up the phone lines. Eric just told you the number, but I'll tell you again. It's 1-800-779-1942. Eric, can you tell the first 10 callers who are very, very serious about their retirement what they will receive when they call?
Yep, they'll get a written financial plan. We're standing by. This is your last chance today. Give us a call.
We're so happy that you joined us today. And Eric, as always, I learned so much when we sit down and talk about retirement and income planning. It would definitely be to your benefit to go to our website and download your complete guide to retirement income, as well as the Portfolio Recovery Strategy. As I said before, Eric has written these and they are very well done and full of lots of information. Eric has 4 offices in Southwest Florida. They are in Cape Coral, Punta Gorda, Bonita Springs, and Sarasota. So it's very easy to come in and make an appointment, and you will sit down with Eric and his team and just be very, very comfortable and learn so many things. We want to thank you so much for watching today. The phone lines are all open. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go so quickly. The phone lines are open, so please give us a call. Thank you so much for watching today. Remember, you only retire once. Let's get it right the first time. Have a great week and an even better retirement.